right now happening in Zaria. Today is 26.
Yeah.
A commercial trailer passing through Zaria around Ahmadu Bello University, loaded with bullets, on his way to supply to the bandits. For one reason or the other, there is along Zaria Sokoto highway. Today, now,
the bullet was dropping.
The bullets were dropping and on the road. The driver did not know and was still going, and the bullets were dropping. I hope he has been apprehended.
Yeah.
So I use this opportunity to call on the Commissioner of Police in Kaduna State to quickly send a team to go and escort the trailer loaded with bullets. Bullets are dropping on the road. The people are crying. I think we should stop further discussion on this matter and go into the prayers. But there is a lot of work to be done. So, there's no need to, whatever you are going to say, Senator Plan, these bullets that are dropping on the ground, we need to make a resolution on this now. Before the bullets find their way into the hands of the bandits. Are you going to say the bullets should not be? Okay, just say something now, because I don't want anybody to feel that he was shot out. Let's just use 30 seconds and say what we want to say, because these issues are too serious, and security really should not be discussed in the open like this.
Yes, sir.
But because of the peculiar circumstance that we have found ourselves. Look at, it's here.
Yes, sir. President of the Senate.
Get the IG and send it to him, and then let him.
President of the Senate, my distinguished colleagues.
No protocol, just
Yes,
say something.
Yes, sir. I is one of the sources of fundraising for bandits. Because all the monies they normally get from kidnapping is to finance or buy weapons to come back as bandits. Then, sir, we are concerned about buying equipment. As much as we have equipment, and a large number of our youths are unemployed, they will be the one that will ridicule the usage of the equipment. But if we sweep numerous numbers of the youths and get them engaged, employed as police, sir, the ratio of Nigeria to civilian ratio is 1 to 700. One policeman to 700 people. Most of our villages are empty. There is nobody around for you to really feel secured. We are thinking of vigilante. The vigilantes, at the end of the day, they remain like beggars. Because they don't have salaries, they don't have source of funding. If we will rely on vigilante and not pay pensionable security, we will not get a solution, sir. My wish is that in as much as we are going to spend on equipment, we must sweep our youth and engage them as security. It will take away those that will volunteer to do this job. I believe that unemployment is another critical part. I believe also that kidnapping is another way of raising funds for bandits. I want to, as a representative of Plateau Central, I want to thank the president for one thing, sir. This is the first time that when we are affected by these ruthless bandits, this is the first time that we see government presence condoling with us. We lost a first-class chief some times ago. Nobody came. Up to date, we have cardinal rulers that are kidnapped. Nobody comes around. But this time, this session of this regime, we have received sufficient empathy. I believe that if government will have empathy on victims, it will help to create hope in the minds of our people. I thank you.
Nancy, I stand up to lend my voice on this motion of urgent national importance raised by Senator Lola Shiru, who happens to be my colleague senator from Kwara State. We thought it was a Kwara issue, but unknown to us, injury to one is injury to all. And in security issues like this, if we isolate ourselves, we say, it does not affect me, it's my neighbor, it will gradually escalate to your doorstep one day. I want to, first and foremost, let this hallowed chamber know that the event of the last 2-3 weeks is a thing of sad reflection on every one of us. It has no tribe, no religion, no party, no state coloration. It is a thing that all of us must have a sad reflection towards. But as God will have it, through the intervention and collaboration of the federal and the state government, we were able to start seeing a thing of joy as a day before yesterday, when the release of the kidnapped worshippers in Kwara, followed by that of Kebbi now. What I must say here is, in hostage negotiation, the first thing you do is to get the release of whoever that hostage is. After that, you can now address other means of apprehending and also bringing the culprits to pay for their injustice. I want to also use the opportunity to commend the federal government and the state governments in being very proactive in at least bringing some form of happiness to these recent victims. We will not say that's the end of the sad event taking place in our country now. We must urge for proactiveness from all sides of the divide. And this further brings us to the issue of enhancing our military and the security agencies. It is time for this hallowed chamber to put a very strong voice to probably once and for all passing a death penalty on anybody involved or associated with kidnapping. Because, Your Excellency, as governor of Akwa Ibom State, I know one of the deterrents you passed then was death penalty for kidnappers. I think this hallowed chamber must come very strongly on that now, such that we must bring a very strong deterrent to people involved in kidnapping or associated with anything that has to do with kidnapping. And we must also look inward to start giving incentives to our gallant men and women of the security agencies. Because if you look at it, there's a growing trend now, sir. The younger generation are beginning to have less interest in joining the armed forces. And if a nation that the younger generation are no longer interested in joining the security agencies or the armed forces, then who is going to protect us for tomorrow? So I will also urge, when we are considering other prayers, we should look at suggestions that will bring incentives to the men and women of the armed forces. Like in advanced countries like America, you will see young ones rushing to join the military. When you ask why, they will tell you one of the incentives they enjoy is free scholarship for them to study from their first degree to even their PhD degree. So we should start looking at incentives like that in our armed forces, and also to make sure that those who are culpable of these dastardly acts are brought into proper justice, for justice to reprimand them properly. So I want to thank everybody who has contributed in this motion of national urgent importance on the kidnap of especially recent Eruku people, Kebbi and Niger. Thank you all.
We just witnessed a startling moment in the floor of the Nigerian Senate. On November 26, 2025, Garba Maidoki, senator representing Kebbi South, shocked the entire chamber when he pulled up a video on his phone showing what appears to be a truck spilling ammunition on the Zaria, Sokoto road. The footage allegedly shows bullets scattering across the road, a visual nobody expected would come before national lawmakers. The purpose of Maidoki's act was to draw urgent attention to the escalating insecurity and rampant banditry in the region. He used the video to underscore a very dangerous reality. Weapons and ammunition are being transported, seemingly unchecked, across major highways. This is more than a threat, it's a red alert. The reaction from Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, was electric. On seeing the footage, he paused. The shock was visible. He asked whether the trailer carrying the arms had been apprehended and called for urgent police action to secure the vehicle and its dangerous cargo. He also urged immediate attention to prevent those bullets from ending up in the hands of bandits. But then came words that many find worrying. Akpabio suggested that the Senate stop discussing this matter and go into prayers, stressing that there was a lot of work to be done. That call for prayers, in a moment where concrete action seems vital, has stirred anger and frustration among many Nigerians. Some view it as an indication of how far we are from accountability and real security enforcement. Let me be very clear, this isn't just about a truck or spilled bullets. It is about what those bullets represent, a breakdown of our security, a failure of oversight, and a deep vulnerability for citizens. When weapons move so openly, when arms may fall into wrong hands, it's not only the North that's under threat, the whole country should be on high alert. Even as we speak, questions echo: who authorized that shipment? Why was the truck allowed on that road? Has the driver been arrested? And most importantly, would those bullets ever be recovered, or would they end up fueling more violence? Meanwhile, another voice from the Senate, Maidoki, and security watchers call for more than prayers. They demand action. In past speeches, Maidoki has repeatedly drawn attention to abductions and mass kidnappings in his constituency, asking for real security, not just promises. What this moment reveals is that Nigeria is at a crossroads. We can't keep reacting after the fact. We need enforcement of arms control laws. We need accountability. We need transparency on where weapons are coming from. And we need the courage from our leaders and from citizens to demand security that protects lives, not just empties bullet casings on roads. We now know that the video shown in the Senate by Garba Maidoki, Senator for Kebbi South, of what appears to be bullets spilling from a truck along the Zaria, Sokoto road, did not happen in isolation. Around the same time, security forces in northern Nigeria recovered ammunition on major highways that suggest further evidence of illegal weapons circulation. For instance, on the Zaria-Funtua highway, the Kaduna State Police Command recovered a sack containing 210 rounds of 7.56mm live ammunition, reportedly thrown from a moving vehicle at a point called Dogo Etes, in the Samaro area of Zaria. There was also a reported incident of ammunition falling from a passenger bus heading towards Katsina, right in front of the gate of Ahmadu Bello University, ABU, Zaria. A video of which circulated on social media and caused panic among students, passers-by, and motorists. And in a more dramatic development, just days later security agencies reportedly intercepted another vehicle on the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway, seizing 1,125 rounds of live ammunition concealed inside. What this suggests, and what Maidoki was likely sounding the alarm about, is a growing pattern. Large volumes of live ammunition are being transported across major highways in northern Nigeria, sometimes being abandoned or dumped, sometimes spilled or dropped, sometimes concealed, a pattern that raises serious questions about arms trafficking networks, security agency capacity, and the effectiveness of border and road monitoring. When Maidoki played that video in the Senate, and the Senate leadership under Godswill Akpabio immediately demanded answers, it was more than a political drama. It exposed an urgent national security crisis, one that affects citizens, students, motorists, and communities along those routes. But the reaction, telling the Senate to stop discussing and go into prayers, has ignited public outrage. Some see that response as woefully inadequate given the gravity of what's at stake. After all, these aren't theoretical threats, they are tangible, live bullets, potentially getting into the wrong hands. Beyond anger, this moment demands accountability and action. Where did these bullets come from? Are they from stockpiles meant for security agencies? Were they diverted? Or are they newly imported, possibly smuggled across borders? Who is trafficking them? Is this the work of organized criminal networks, or complicit officials? Why are they being transported on open highways, sometimes in passenger or commercial vehicles? That points to failures in enforcement, oversight, and road security. What measures will the government and security forces implement to plug these gaps before more bullets fall into the hands of bandits, terrorists, or rogue actors? For many Nigerians, this is a turning point, a moment to demand transparency, stronger security protocols, and decisive action. For students, commuters, and everyday citizens, it's a warning sign that nowhere, not even major roads or campuses, is safe if weapons trafficking is allowed to go on.